Welcome back to The Outright Effect, a podcast in which unique perspectives challenge us to be better versions of ourselves. I'm Tempsy.
And I'm Shelly.
And today we're talking about the holidays, guys. I am so excited about this topic. This is my favorite time of year, and I just eat every little piece of it up. I'm so excited for it.
All right, Tempsy, since you love the holidays so much, why don't you get us started and tell us how you go about gifting your friends or family? What are your gift ideas? How do you get inspired? And what's your strategy for shopping?
My strategy has changed over the years. I used to, just like most people, wait till the last minute. Maybe not the last minute, but I just kept finding myself rushing as I got closer and closer to Christmas to get gifts for people. So I started to change up my strategy. I started to say, I need to start earlier. I need to think through this, and I need to be a little bit more strategic. So I started putting calendar reminders in my calendar and in July. And that's when I would start shopping. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to the store and just pulling things off the racks because I don't have enough room in my house to store all of that. So I'll just get things that I see are really cute, just cute gift ideas, or if something helps me think of someone, then I'll get it then as well. I just have to be very cautious because I like giving gifts. So if I give it to somebody too early, then I'm not going to have it for,
its intended purpose,
right?
Which is holiday gift giving.
Exactly. So I think there's 3 different categories for who you give gifts to in your life. Well, for me anyway, I think there's work, family, and then friends. So for work folks, I think this is a really great opportunity if you're managing a team or you work with a team that, you work together all throughout the year. I think it's a really good opportunity to show your appreciation for them and show you how much you care about them. So for people that I work with, I would think about those individuals specifically and get something that catered to their personality or what I know about them. I would spend a little bit more time in that case. So that was kind of like the first year that I did a little bit more of a strategic Christmas. And then the next year I got a little smarter and I got these stemless wine glasses with little sayings on them. And I put chocolates at the bottom, and then I put like a nice travel perfume that I got from Macy's inside, and a nail polish and something else really cute. And then I wrapped them in those cellophane bags and tied a little bow on it. The following year, I found this really cool t-shirt website. It's called fairyseason.com, and it has some amazing shirts on there with sayings on them or just really nice pictures. They have a lot of seasonal stuff as well. So I really loved this website and I was very excited about it. So I went a little nuts, and I didn't just get them for coworkers. I actually got one for Shelly too because I got them for a bunch of friends. There was just really applicable shirts to a lot of the personalities that are in my life. It was exciting for me. Mm-hmm. I went a little crazy. I even bought a few for myself. Shop. Yeah, exactly. So speaking of friends, when it comes to friends locally here, we have a couple groups of friends that we do different things with. One group of friends, we go to somebody's house and we do a white elephant. So everybody knows kind of what white elephant is. I don't have to explain it, right? But but the first year I did it, there was this wallet that had been passed around for several years, and I was the one who got it. It was kind of funny, and everybody was laughing, and oh my gosh, she got the wallet.
Like
it's
that
her
prank gift.
Yeah, exactly. It's her first year, and she got the wallet, and then the very next year, somebody brought their grandma, and she got it, and she was super stoked to have it. So
guess it's not getting passed around anymore.
No,
she's
not
keeping it.
Exactly, not anymore. And another thing I noticed with that group is at some point, one of the moms had an amazing idea, because everybody was having kids, to do a Secret Santa for the kids instead of getting a gift for every kid. So that was very thoughtful and considerate. So that's what we do every year now. It works out perfectly. For friends in the mainland, it actually kind of coincides with the family portion because they're kind of far away. Shipping to them is can get quite costly. So the first year that I shipped from Hawaii, it cost me over $100. Mm-hmm. So it's adding to the price of each gift. And I love them, so it doesn't matter. I'm happy to ship those things. But it just started to get really pricey. But the first year I sent all Hawaii themed stuff.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I wrote out, handwritten cards that had Mele Kalikimaka on the front with Santa in Hawaii, and he's like chilling on a lounge chair. It was super cheesy, but I didn't care. I loved it. They got Hawaii ornaments and things like that. So that's what I did the first year. But you send us, $10 ornament, and then you're paying $10 in shipping. It
adds up.
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely adds up. So then the following years, it was things like the chocolate covered McNuts, and then it was the Honolulu Cookie Company brownies. I really love those brownies. They're super good, even though it's a cookie company. Their brownies are legit, and so I sent those out. And this year, I don't think I'm going to reveal what I'm sending out because my sister listens to this podcast.
You don't want to spoil her surprise.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil her surprise. So, but it's going to be, I'll give you a hint, it's going to be delicious.
Okay, it's edible.
Yes.
We know this now.
Yes, it's edible. So those are my strategies. But now I've gotten even smarter. If I, that was kind of my husband's idea to send the edible item this year. But in actuality, what I really wanted to do was purchase things on Amazon and then ship it directly to their house.
Yeah,
that was my
easier.
goal. Mm-hmm. But my husband really likes this thing that he found. Yeah. And so he's like, let's just send him that. And I was like, okay, sounds good. What about you, Shelly? What's your strategy for gift giving in the holidays?
So I usually try to purchase gifts when I see them during the year, or if I see something that I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find at any time throughout the year, I'll just make note of it. But actually, thinking about that, maybe I should just buy it when I see it, because I can't promise myself I'm going to remember a few months later when it actually becomes holiday season. And I think my reason for waiting a little bit also is holiday sales, maybe having, better package deals, or just depending on what you're getting. Sometimes things come with little add-ons and, like a little set or a kit. So I usually tend to lean more that way because, for the same price, whoever you're giving this gift to can get a little bit more things that they can enjoy. And why not? I feel like that's just better for everybody all around. Yeah. There have been some times that I buy gifts that are sort of themed, if that makes sense. So I remember one year I went on Pinterest and I really felt like I wanted to make something off of Pinterest, which ended up being mason jar soap dispensers. I think you got one. Yep. I had filled it with candy too. Yep. So that'll be something that I'll do where I just make a whole bunch of it and everybody gets one. So it kind of depends on how I feel. DIYing is not something that is prevalent in my life. Like, it's not something I do all the time, but during the holiday season, if I feel like, wanting to make something, that's usually what ends up happening. I also tend to be a very practical gift giver. So sorry to all the people out there who want something fun and cool, but you might get something super practical from me because I like getting people things that they can use. I know that I need to change it up a little bit and think about some fun things to give people too. And I think, nowadays there are some nieces that I buy gifts for, and obviously they don't want practical stuff. Like, let's be real, the kids want toys. But if you want some holiday gift ideas, you can head over to my YouTube channel where I have some videos that went up recently on some potential gift ideas if you like skincare, beauty, or if you know someone who does. So I think the easiest way you could probably find my channel is by visiting my website, simplecasualchic.com. That's where you can find all of my social media links and stuff like that too. So head on over there and you should be able to find some cool things. And I have a bunch of videos, so maybe some other old ones can give you some gift ideas as well.
Definitely.
All right, Tempsy, so are you an online shopper, like Cyber Monday, I guess? Black Friday deals are going on literally right now too. So would you rather shop online or in store?
To be honest with you, I think I default to in store, but only when it's not 2 weeks before Christmas. However, what I am going to try this year is the whole Cyber Black Friday. We're going to be taking a little trip to the North Shore. So I'm going to take some time on that Friday to just shop there, but I did do a lot of my shopping already. So this is just last minute items, maybe a couple things for my son. Just those things that are going to pop up, like the white elephant gift or another secret Santa that's going to end up popping up maybe for work or something. That's where I'm going to do that shopping. And then again, for anybody who's in the mainland, I'm going to try much better to be shipping straight from Amazon or wherever the case might be. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I actually default more to the store. Like if I were to be... Yeah.
I think shopping in store is a different type of experience too. Like you get to see a bunch of things and not just scroll and look at a bunch of pictures. So
yeah, I
do find value in that. Yeah.
Now that you say scroll, yeah, that's overwhelming.
It's kind of endless.
To me. Yeah, because it's like am I going to find anything? So you know how Amazon has those deals every once in a while? They, like Amazon Day or whatever that recently happened. Prime Day. Okay. I started going through that and I was like, I don't need this thingamabob, you know, like this random gadget or whatever. And I'm like, is this what I'm going to be scrolling through for this entire time? It's going to take me hours. So I just say, nope, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know what my strategy is going to be for this. Maybe you can help me out. Have you done a lot of Black Friday shopping?
It depends. So I'm a little particular. So
that's true.
So actual Black Friday shopping, I haven't done in years, where you're actually like going to this store at midnight or whatever and lining up. So last and only time I really did that was in college, because I didn't have to go to work the next day.
Yeah. True.
Or maybe I worked at like 2 p.m. or something like that for like a few hours. So nobody cared if I was tired, you know?
Yeah.
It was like a non-serious job, you know, when you're like 19 or whatever. So I would go with friends and we'd like line up. We've gone to like Sears where they have all the electronic deals. That's what it was back then anyway. I did give a lot of credit to people who would go to the real like electronic stores like Best Buys and whatever, and then find this like crazy deal on a TV they didn't need. And a small part of me did want to experience that. But when I saw like the lines and how long it took to check out, that was a hard pass for me.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to deal with it.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And if it's to the extent of getting like socks for $1, I'm not interested. I really don't know what kind of good deal I'm going to find, like, to put myself through that at this point, you know? Like, if I'm going to spend, like, $5 extra on something, that's not breaking the bank. It's not going to, you know, make me go bankrupt. I'll just pay an extra couple dollars to get something that doesn't cause me to, I don't know, literally lose sleep.
I've never done that either. I've actually never stood in line or did that Black Friday thing or anything like that, except last year we were in California around Thanksgiving time, and we went to Walmart to try to pick up the new iPhone that was coming out, and we stood in line for 1.5 to 2 hours. And I would have never done this if I was single, but my husband wanted to do it to get a deal. Like, it was a good deal on the phones, I guess. And we got up there and they didn't have the ones we wanted.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't great.
I mean, that's the part, you know.
But that's my lesson, right? Like, I knew I never wanted to do it, but that's kind of like, that's why it's not worth it, because you never know if they're going to cut it off right before you or whatever.
Sorry, only the first 100 people or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I have done Cyber Monday shopping, and there are just a couple of sites that I will go on to. And honestly, it's not like the sites with the best deals. Like, that's really not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the best deals on things that I want and don't want to spend as much money on. So I have done Black Friday or Cyber Monday. I don't remember which one it was, but on like Nordstrom's website.
Who saw that coming?
Last year, I purchased not from Nordstrom, but another store, All Saints. I purchased a designer leather jacket at 40% off that I ordered online. I also have a video on that on my YouTube channel. So if you're just wondering what kind of ridiculous things I buy, head on over there and watch that video. But I saved like maybe $200 on this leather jacket. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, at 40% off. So anyway, you can do the math and figure out how much it really costs. But I like the jacket. It's a classic one. It's very popular. So for me, it was kind of worthwhile. It's like Christmas gift to, you know, myself sort of deal. So that's how it was justified. But so, yeah, I mean, I don't have really good Black Friday. If you want to buy like $50 or less items, I'm not the person to ask that.
Oh, great. Well, if anybody has any advice out there and wants to share it with me, I would love it. I don't want to sit down, you know, on the North Shore, right by the beach, scrolling through millions of gadgets and stuff that I don't need. And I don't really have an idea of what I'm looking for either. So that's that's kind of on me. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm just wondering what people do, how they decide to kind of go through how do they decide what websites to go to and how to navigate all of that? I would really love to hear that. So please share.
I think recently I've been looking at a lot of like Instagram ads, which sounds terrible, but if you're looking for bedding, like good bedding, there's some of that on sale right now. I know that's super random. If you're also into like sustainable or eco living, I have seen like little kits, like starter sets, if you will, for reusable shopping bags or wooden utensils, metal straws, that kind of stuff. Those are some things that I saw online recently. Also, potentially good gifts to give somebody who's making some lifestyle changes or whatever. I thought about buying that stuff for myself too. Not gonna lie, a lot of this shopping's more for myself.
Speaking of bedding,
Yes.
we don't buy bedding. We buy sheets.
I buy comforters, duvet covers.
Oh no, I used to love buying those things, but now that we live in Hawaii and we don't really turn on the air conditioning very often because it's only in one room, no point. So we just use sheets. So we have one sheet. We have the sheet that's on the bed and then the sheet that goes over us, and that's it.
I'm freezing before I go to sleep because the AC's on, so I like wrap myself up in a comforter. That's what I've been doing since I was a kid. Blast AC, roll yourself up in a blanket and go to sleep.
All right, well, let's get back on topic here. What about holiday parties? Do you go to holiday parties with your family, or do you have some for work that you go to, or any fun ones with friends? Like, what do you have going on during the holidays?
So today, I mean, family-wise, I would say my family doesn't really have a lot of traditions or parties. We're not very festive people. Plus, my family's really small. So I think that lends to, I think when there's less people to get together, you don't try as hard. That's in my opinion. I feel like the people who are really getting together all the time are like the larger families that need to coordinate all this madness, but they love to do it anyway. So
because it's one of the few, it's one of the few times of year that they like
probably see each other,
together,
right?
Yeah.
But it's just me, literally me, my parents, my grandparents, my husband, and so even if it's a holiday, we may postpone it for a month or two or a few. Like we'll have that turkey sitting in the freezer, and we're like, I guess we should cook this thing. It's been frozen for a while. So anyways, we're very casual about it.
All right.
But I do have some like work parties that I'll go to, obviously. I'm actually going to one today after we finish recording these episodes that we're working on. I do feel like, though, when I was really young, like preschool, elementary school, that's probably when my family was a little bit more quote-unquote traditional with having, Thanksgiving or Christmas things, like turkey during Thanksgiving, decorating a Christmas tree. But that was really only when I was a kid. And honestly, I would say that I think that they were doing those things for me so that I could have this enjoyment and like the feeling of Christmas and presents and all that stuff when I was young. But as soon as homework and projects started to kick in high school and I got really busy, I didn't have a chance to decorate the Christmas tree because I was studying or writing some paper or something like that. And I remember I was really particular about decorating the tree. I'd want it done a certain way. This was me as a child. I wanted it done a certain way. I wanted to do it myself. I was a very independent little girl. And I think one year I got too busy. My dad might have decorated the tree and I had like a problem with this. I was like, no. Why did you? I came home and it was done and I was like, what? That's my job,
Aww.
And I probably took everything off and put things back on, the way that I wanted to or whatever. But after that, it kind of made me like think about, why wasn't I able to do it this year? Too much homework or whatever was going on. And after that, my parents would ask me, do you want a tree? And I would say, no, I think I'm too busy. And they haven't had any decorations at their house since then. So they haven't had a tree since I said, I don't want a tree anymore. But I mean,
does
now
that
it's just
mean you
the two
got
of them.
real trees?
We got real trees. Yeah, we got real trees.
Important question, right? Real or fake?
Yeah. So now I have my first fake tree or artificial tree that I bought from Target. That was a Black Friday deal, I believe. I think it was like $40 or $50. It was really cheap. Got shipped to my house. It was great. I didn't have to go pick it up from anywhere. But prior to this, I've always had, well, I shouldn't say always because it's been a long time since I ever had a tree. But when I was a kid growing up, it was always a real tree. And I would take care of that thing, like water it every day. I would like spray water all over it, make sure there was water on the bottom. That's the only time I could keep anything alive. That was a plant because nowadays I really can't. They die within a couple of weeks. But yeah, that was my thing to do as a kid. But yeah, now since the family is just a lot smaller, people are just kind of scattered all over everywhere, like living their own lives, moving to different states and all that kind of stuff. We don't really do too much, but my in-laws do rather, in my opinion, large holiday parties where a lot of their immediate family gets together. So their immediate family is much larger than mine. I don't have any siblings or anything like that. My parents have siblings, but they don't live on this island, so I don't see them much either. But now when I go to like in-law holiday parties, there's about 25 or so family members that get together, which is
That's
all pretty much immediate family.
Wow.
And to me, that's a lot of people and definitely not something that I'm used to. So to me, it's just a lot of crowded spaces, I guess I would say. That is not familiar to me, but I just kind of cruise on my own, read something on my phone, mind my own business a little bit, but yeah. What about you, Tempsy? What about how do you guys celebrate holidays? What kind of parties do you guys go to?
Well, when I was younger, my mom would set up the tree, and I always knew the holidays were coming because she would always prepare for the holiday party that my family had every year. So she would make bonbons, she would make cookies, she would make sugar cookies that were blank, and then would put the frosting in the frosting bags and bring it all over so everybody could decorate. You know,
That's
cookies.
fun.
It was a lot of fun. And she made Rice Krispie treats. Everybody absolutely loved them. I think she got the recipe out of like a, I don't know, off the bag or something, and just added extra marshmallows.
Yeah.
I don't know, but everybody absolutely loved her Rice Krispie treats. They said they were like nobody else's. So that was like the feeling, you know, the aura of the holidays was when mom started baking, you know what I mean? It was really, really nice. So we would go to my uncle's house, my uncle and auntie's house, and my auntie and her mom would cook for everybody, and they made the best food every year. It was like the same setup. It was so delicious. We had so much fun. We would play games. We would sing Christmas carols. My uncle, when he was alive, he had these binders full of Christmas carol lyrics, and we would all have a binder.
It's like karaoke.
Yeah, basically, but without the microphone. But we would all gather around and sing Christmas carols, and it was just that feeling, you know what I mean? And I think that's where a lot of these feelings come for me, the feeling of nostalgia and the Christmas spirit, and you know, just the holidays in general. The morning of Christmas, we would do kind of the typical Christmas morning at my mom's house. We would open presents, then do stockings, and then typically we would get a movie. One of us, either my brother or I, would get a movie for Christmas, so we would watch the movie, and then she always surprised us with like a bigger gift, and she would have us do a scavenger hunt throughout the house. So she'd put Post-its everywhere for us to find the next clue to get to the big present, and it was usually like a comforter set. Actually, is what I got one year, and it was super stuffed. That was in California, but it was a lot of fun. So then after that. Actually, while we were watching the movie, we'd always have cinnamon buns. So that was like the smell of that was really nice. And I was in a split family. So my parents were divorced when I was really young. So after I was kind of done at my mom's house and we had time to kind of chill, I would actually go to my dad's house. And we had the typical Christmas there as well. We would open gifts and we would open up stockings. My family, my dad's side of the family, it was a lot of like jokes though. I just have a lot of memories of laughing all the time. Like this story comes up all the time from my brother. He got a Walkman for Christmas and started singing with the headphones in his ears and just was not saying any words, but was just singing.
Oh, like lip singing.
No, but he was making noises.
Oh,
but
I see.
not actually
Got it.
singing words. So, and then also they would make fun of me because every time I opened a present, I would say either cool or awesome. But it didn't seem
You didn't,
like I was
elaborate on it.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, cool.
So they would make fun of me like,
Awesome.
is that all the words you know? So I just remember a lot of fun jokes and like hilarity that would come out of my dad's house, and a lot of nostalgia and traditions that would come from my mom's house that just gave me that joyous feeling. But once I moved here, we started having family parties with my husband's family, and it was a little bit different, but it was kind of cool. We would have a lot of Chinese food, which was different for me, but it was interesting. And then somebody, instead of cooking, they would purchase the turkey and the stuffing and the gravy from somewhere just to have it because it's a typical Thanksgiving or Christmas meal, right? And so that's what we would do with his family. And then now that we have a child, it's a little bit different. So when I met my husband, I started decorating the house just because, again, this is my time of year, man. I'm all about it. So I decorated the house. I would bake and things like that. Every year I would do that. And he started doing it with me a little bit. He enjoys it. And then we had a child. And of course, the first year of your child's life, their first Christmas, you go all out, right? You don't really buy them a whole lot of gifts, but other people do. I mean, some people buy their kids gifts for their first Christmas, but you have to have the tree because you have to take pictures of the kid in front of the tree, and like you have to see if you can give them a good experience. They don't know what the heck is going on, so it really doesn't matter, but it's their first Christmas, so you're excited. However, the second Christmas, we were so exhausted because now our kid had been walking for a couple months, right? But he's not
active and
100%
mobile.
stable, right? So I was like, Okay, I'll do it next weekend. Oh, okay, I'll do it next weekend. And we never did it. We never even decorated.
You're busy running around chasing your child.
Except my husband surprised me because he knows how much I love Christmas, and he just got a couple decorations out. And while I was working or something, he decorated the house a little bit. So it was super sweet, and I really, really appreciated it because he knows how much I love this time of year. So it's really nice to have that. But this year, since he gets what's going on, we are going all out. Like, this year's gonna be nuts. We already bought like a fire truck tent, but I think the thing that Shelly's
Like
giving me a
what?
look.
What's
It's
that?
like this little play tent. It's not a tent like a triangular tent. It's like tent material with wiring that is strategically placed so that it stays up. It looks like a fire truck.
Okay, got it.
And they go inside a door, and they're in their little
Like a
own
playhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
But it looks like a fire truck.
That probably would have been a better way to
Okay.
explain it. But yes, exactly. Because he likes making forts. We started making
Okay,
forts for
yeah.
him, and he likes being in his own little
Yeah.
space. So we got that for him. So we're going to actually set that up for Christmas. He's going to be really...
That's cool.
If he is not super
I think
stoked
that's
about
cool.
it, I'm
I
going to
would've
be
liked
real
that as a
sad.
child.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're doing that for him. And I think what I want to focus on is just building traditions like I had so that he has that nostalgic feeling and he feels really loved and feels the joy of Christmas. Just so that, and if at some point he doesn't appreciate it as much, at least he had that experience.
Yeah. So one thing that was mentioned was kind of like the food aspect of Thanksgiving. And so I would say that I feel like my family is the only one who does this because I don't know anyone who does this because my parents or my grandma, to my knowledge, have never cooked a turkey in the oven. We'd always cook it. And I think maybe only in the last few years or so, if we were doing something Thanksgiving, I know we did this once or twice where they actually bought that pre-made thing from wherever was selling it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, in my opinion, a hassle because you're basically cooking everything anyway because it arrives to you cold. You pick it up and it's cold.
Oh.
But before, like, we would do the whole, not me, my parents and my grandma would do the whole turkey from scratch, like stuffing made from scratch, bread chopped up and all that stuff. My dad was very particular about it, and the squares of bread were perfect in shape and size. They're uniform. I hear this thing being advertised on the radio occasionally, and they refer to it as the big green egg, but it's a kamado. That's the actual name for it. But it's this egg-shaped, this large... I think, a long time ago, they made it out of stone or some kind of concrete material or whatever. But it's kind of like a smoker.
Oh.
So that's how we would cook the turkey or ham or anything large that was like meat.
Yeah.
It would go in there.
Oh, cool.
But I don't know anybody else who does that. To my knowledge, my parents are the only one, or my family is the only one who has done it like that. But that's totally what I was used to as a kid. Like, they would wrap it up in foil, I guess, and they would put it in there with some kind of, I don't know, chiave. I have no idea. Coal,
No,
whatever.
my dad did something similar. It wasn't an extra device. He dug a 6 or 12-foot deep hole in the ground, kind of like an emu.
I know, I was just going to say.
Now that I think
Getting
about
ready
it,
for a luau.
yeah, that's so funny. But we had an acre of land at the time. We still have that house, and so he dug, a hole, and he would burn a fire for, wood fire down there for a long time. Then he would put stones and other stuff, and then he would put like the wrapped turkey. He also put lengua, which is cow tongue, down there, and something else. And man, when that thing was done, this was from scratch. It wasn't already cooked, but it was so, what do you call it? Like tender.
Yeah.
That it just fell apart. Completely fell apart. It was so good.
Yeah.
I have a really funny story about turkey, though, that just happened recently. My sister texted me, and she goes, "Hey, I have some questions about a turkey." That's all she said. And I said...
Okay.
I said, okay, how to cook one? And she goes, yeah. I said, okay, but I've never cooked a turkey in my life. So for those of you who have listened to this podcast from the beginning, I went to culinary school, right?
I've cooked a turkey, Shamsi.
You have?
Yeah, here. We're in my kitchen.
Good for you. It's now a bucket list item because this...
It's not hard. I mean, it was okay.
I know, but it's just, it does take some
but it's
work,
huge.
right?
Yeah, it takes a long time.
So she responded, did you even go to school? And I said...
Like, hold on a second.
I said, yes, I went to school, but I never had the urge. We didn't like sit there and learn how to cook turkeys.
Every single thing, yeah.
Exactly. So I told her, but there's this new thing that you can try. Hold on. And I put google.com and I sent it back to her.
There's a lot of videos. That's how I learned how to cook a turkey the one time that I made a turkey.
Really?
Yes.
But before that, her mom, my stepmom passed away several years ago, and she goes, I don't have a mom anymore. Who am I supposed to turn to if you don't know? I was like, she's terrible with that kind of stuff. But I just thought it was so funny that, I had no idea. And then you've even cooked a turkey. So it's now on my bucket list. It's now a goal of mine to cook a turkey.
I mean, if you're not going to eat it, because I know you don't eat meat anymore, I'll eat turkey for you.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you don't want it to go to waste or anything.
Honestly,
right?
Shelly, I completely forgot I don't eat.
Hello. I was like, why would you cook a turkey? What are you going to do with the meat after? You're going to look at it like, oh, wait, hold on a second.
I know like a couple people who do eat meat, so I'm sure I could give it away. But
I do like turkey. If it's like, if I had choices of meats to eat, turkey's one of them. But I think it's because it's lean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my mom will do the whole like turkey soup thing from scratch after with the bones and everything. And honestly, I think one of the reasons why, I mean, my parents are getting a little bit older. Turkey's heavy. It's a lot of work, to like take that thing outside. They live in a 2-story house. The kitchen is upstairs,
Right, yeah.
like nobody wants to be doing that. Plus the dog might get a little bit curious and be like, oh, what's this thing? And not know that it's hot and he shouldn't touch it. I mean, he speaks dog, which I don't. But I mean, I guess the other unique thing, other than cooking the turkey in a kamado, my grandma and I think my dad would still do it to this day. I mean, if my parents are cooking a turkey, but they put sake on it. Like instead of like wine or something like that, it's like straight up Japanese sake.
It probably helps because some people brine turkeys and it kind of breaks down.
They do that first, actually.
Oh,
they brine
and the
it
sake?
and then they put sake on it before they put it in. Yeah.
I wonder what that does.
I don't know. I don't taste alcohol. I mean, you're not supposed to.
No, it'll cook out.
Yeah.
But maybe it tenderizes it a little bit more.
It might. And I remember my grandma saying, like, when she used to do it when I was a little kid, she would basically say that she's putting sake on the turkey and the turkey's going to be drunk. I was like, okay. And I come from a family of people who, like, don't really drink. So I'd be like, oh, okay, this turkey's going to be drunk? Like, who drinks here? Nobody.
It's going to be walking out of your house all sideways.
Yeah.
I think we kind of got off track in this conversation, but that's where the fun happens. But also in terms of parties, I do go to work parties. I think everybody does.
Yeah.
We have a company dinner that we're going to be having, and some companies allow you to invite your family. Some don't. This one we have spouses that are able to come, so that's nice. My husband doesn't usually get to come to work stuff very often, so that'll be nice for us to have a night out without my son. We don't get to do that very much, so it'll be good for us. And then there's another friend party that I go to where it's just 3 different couples, and we exchange gifts with the kids. We have a meal, and then we do like fun activities for the kids. So it's kind of cool. They did like a paint by number thing one time, and I was like, this is gonna get real messy. It was a little scary. And then I did the same thing my mom did. I got the sugar cookies, left them blank, and mixed up the frosting and made different colors, and they all decorated. That was before I had a kid. I wouldn't have done it after. I'm too tired.
Something, speaking of holiday parties and stuff, something that I think would be cool is like, I guess I can't say I haven't done Friendsgiving. I feel like I've done like a more like low scale, like smaller scale Friendsgiving. But for some reason, I don't eat all the things on those cheese meat board things, but I feel like that would be like a fun thing. Maybe have other types of food on there. I'm not a cheese person. Fruits and vegetable board. That's what that would end up being. But
charcuterie.
I mean, I was watching this video the other night about people like putting it together, and I don't know, it looks fun. You can get people together and put it together, and then you all eat it or something.
Oh, okay.
Sounds fun to me.
Actually, I think the vegetable one is crudité.
I don't know what they're called.
Culinary school was a long time ago, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know what the heck sake does to your turkey. I don't know what
You've never cooked a turkey before.
Before.
What are these things called?
I gotta brush up on my culinary knowledge. What about deciding on who you give gifts to? I don't think we talked about that when we talked about strategy, because man, you could
it could go crazy,
especially here in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Because where's that line between friend and acquaintance is kind of not only
a question,
in
a balance,
life but also at work.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So for me personally, I mean, over the years, I feel like I used to give a lot more gifts before. Like, let's say before I had a mortgage.
Fair enough.
And I would get a whole bunch of gifts for like a ton of friends and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't really do that for coworkers back then, I think, because probably the jobs that I had, it was more like that part-time job where like you had different shifts. So there were like different people there at different times. And it just kind of got probably difficult, you know, like that's challenging, like thinking about it now. Whereas now when I go into work, it's like the same people I'm seeing every single day.
Right.
For coworkers and in that sort of like, what would you get your department? I feel like usually for me, it's food. Like I'll just get, or I'll make cookies at home and like bring it in, and that will kind of be the thing.
Oh, I did do that one year. I think that was actually the first year that I got.
Yeah.
For coworkers.
Yeah. And I'll do like a huge, like I'll bring in a huge container and just like put my name on it, like from Shelly to everybody.
Oh,
Merry
I would
Christmas.
wrap 6 at a time and then give them to individuals.
I've done that too.
You have? Oh, yeah.
I've done that too, but then I feel like I never make enough to wrap as many individually as I want to.
First come, first serve.
Yeah, you know, or I'd be like, oh, I got to make some more. And then, so yeah, anyways, now I go the route of like just making like in bulk and one time go and you're good. But I do also make dog cookies for my dog's quote unquote friends. Yeah, I totally forgot about that until right now. Yeah, my dog has friends. Katsu has friends.
Aww.
He's friends with, you know, my coworker friends' dogs, and we all like hang out and stuff together. So my dog has friends.
Cute.
So they get homemade dog cookies that are like, it's like wheat flour, egg, applesauce, or some kind of other carrots or something like that. There's no sugar or anything like that in there. But yeah, I bake dog cookies during the holidays, and his friends get cookies. I'm like a parent.
That's cute. My kid doesn't have any friends yet.
He doesn't go to school, so
Yeah.
pretty soon.
That's true. Yes, pretty soon, actually.
Pretty soon.
Well, for me, work was really hard at one time because I was at the same company for 5 years and I had moved departments. So I had a previous boss, I had a previous like day-to-day coworkers, and they were still my coworkers, but now I had a new team that I was actually, you know, managing. Plus there was other people who are on the same level as me, so I got to make sure I give them gifts. So it got
Like your peers,
Yeah, exactly. So I had a really hard time with that because I'm one who wants to overgive rather than undergive. I don't want anybody to feel left out. So I think that's why the first year I did cookies, because then I could just make as many as I needed.
Right.
And it's relatively inexpensive, but there's a lot of love in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love in my cookies. So just making it real special, even though it didn't cost too much. But it did get difficult. That's why I wanted to hear your strategy on work, you know, or this topic in general, because you know, my husband has a lot of friends that he considers them friends, but I would say there's a lot of his friends that I would consider to be acquaintances to him. That's just, we have different definitions because of how we grew up. And that's okay. But it gets difficult for us to know, who do we invite to birthday parties? Who do we invite to our wedding? You know, we only had one, but I'm just saying, like, how do you
ongoing
draw
parties
the line,
and,
you know? And so same thing goes with gift giving and sending your Christmas cards out, you know, it just gets really difficult for me. So I'm sorry I don't have an answer for everybody, but I just use my best judgment every year.
Yeah.
And honestly, it changes every year.
Right, it does. I agree. Christmas cards.
Oh, Christmas
We should talk about that real quick. So I'm super lazy. I don't do nothing. Yep. I do like to give like blank Christmas cards that I'll write a message into friends that I'm giving gifts to, but otherwise I don't do the photo happy holidays that goes to like 2 million people. Like I don't do that Christmas card. But I mean, if it's fine if you do, I don't know.
Well, the only reason we started doing it was when I got pregnant. Yeah. And then every year after that, because we had a kid and
people want to see how he's growing, you know, and changes over time and
honestly,
keeping in touch with people.
If I didn't have my whole family on the mainland, I wouldn't really do them, because the people that, you know, we hang out with regularly here, they will see my son, you know, so it wouldn't really be necessary per se. But I have a lot of family on the mainland that don't get to see him as often, so it's good for them. But it's also cool because, you know, you always have I always have 20 left over. I got to be better about deciding
ordering how much,
figuring it out, because again, my guest lists are always changes, you know what I mean? So anywho, I order too many, but I got to be better about that. But I get to see year over year, I keep the extras, a couple extras, to see wow, look at how much he's
what we've
changed.
been doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is a good method for people to like stay in touch with family members that they may not see very often or people who live far away. For me personally, I grew up with my parents sending out a whole lot of Christmas cards to like a lot of people and relatives and stuff because kind of like how I mentioned, my family's pretty small and most other people live somewhere else too, or at least on another island. They're not super far away, but they're still, you know, I mean, you still got to catch a plane.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one of the reasons why I don't want to do Christmas cards is because when I was a kid, I was the one on the Christmas card. It was not a family photo. It was a Shelly photo, and that's it. So now I'm like, I don't want, like, enough people have gotten a card with just a picture of me in there. Like,
Your parents
seriously?
didn't take the picture with you?
No, it was just me. It's like, Shelly, go stand over there, take a picture. Or it would be like my school picture or something like that.
Oh.
And yeah, that's when I'm like, God, Christmas photo? Ugh. I just don't want to.
Speaking of Christmas photos, we always go to Santa at Ala Moana since I've had my child. And what I did the first year, I got it too late because I always procrastinate on actually writing the addresses. I don't procrastinate on the photos. I don't procrastinate on ordering the actual card. I procrastinate on writing down all of the addresses that I'm sending it to. So now I know that Santa comes to Ala Moana. It's the mall that's close by. He comes beginning to middle of November. This is the planner in me. And so the first year that I figured this out, I went the first weekend and they were still working through the glitches. So this is my tip to everybody. Go the third or fourth week that Santa is at Ala Moana.
That's funny.
And it will be the perfect timing. Make sure you schedule your appointment. We didn't even wait in line this year. However, this year, the back part of the picture, so, you know, our faces and everything is clear, but the back is dark. And we went at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It should not have been
well
dark.
lit.
It wasn't dark.
They need like lights or something.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about going back and asking them to maybe retake them because
Yeah.
you pay $44 for the digitals.
Sure.
You don't get any printouts.
Yeah.
So come on, I gotta have nice photos.
Right.
So we might go back and ask them. And that was the third or fourth week in. So I thought I was passing all the, you know, them
Right,
getting through the
craziness,
glitches.
yeah.
But anywho, that's my tip to everybody. But when it, you know, back to gift giving for how you decide, my new thing, kind of new, is that if you have a child, I'm getting your child a gift. Don't expect a gift for the adult. Because, you know, we're adults. We don't need gifts. I don't even exchange gifts with my husband. So I might give them some cookies if I baked cookies. I might give a bottle of wine if I have some wine that I'm not going to drink, or I happen to be at a wine store and I think I should pick up a couple of bottles. But that's kind of it, because I feel like the joy that kids get out of receiving a gift way outweighs what the joy an adult gets out of getting a gift. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I think if we're all adults, we don't need to be like exchanging gifts. But if, you know, my friend doesn't have a kid, then I actually want to give them some joy as well and give them a gift, even if it's just small.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a tip. It's probably common sense, but I think it's important to note.
Mm-hmm. And, sorry, this is super random, but kind of like circling back on my Christmas card thing. Since my parents were doing that to me as a child, I took a picture of the dog, and the dog was the Christmas card for my parents. So now people get pictures of the dog on the Christmas card, which I think is funny.
That's cute, though.
Yeah,
And
I put a Santa hat on him. He doesn't care. He doesn't know I'm doing that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
He knows how to sit and eat food.
Yeah.
So, which is all he needs to know. But yeah.
Exactly. Cute.
All right, so let's talk about some holiday activities, things you can do around town and stuff like that. So, Tempsy, what do you like to do? Anything you like to go to? Where do you like to see the Christmas stuff?
I wouldn't say there's something that I like to do every year, but I have gone to a couple of things that they don't really have it in my hometown, in the mainland. So they have the Hawaii Kai Boat Parade, which they dress all their boats up in Christmas lights and they make it really festive and fun. They have the Chinatown Parade. It's a Christmas parade in Chinatown, which makes sense based on the name.
And Hawaii Kai Boat Parade.
Yeah, true.
These are self-explanatory.
Yeah,
so you get
I
the
guess.
picture. Yeah, but there are events to know about, and if you're looking for something.
I'm catering to those who don't have an imagination, Shelley. So they're not, things get really crowded. If there is something going on in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii Kai, anywhere, everybody kind of floods there. So it does get difficult to find parking and things like that. And if you're cool with that and you want to, filter through the crowds and all that good stuff, then
by all means
do it. But for me, I'm the kind of person that I'll do it once and then I'm kind of good.
Yeah. I mean,
so not something I do every year, and I wouldn't say that I particularly love any single one of those, but I like the holiday season, so I enjoy it while I'm there.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I see it.
I know there's a couple of other parades. Like I think there's one in like Kaneohe or Kailua or something like that. I'd never been to that one before, but there is one in Kaimuki that this small elementary school that I used to go to participated in every single year. So I walked up this street, Waialae Avenue. It went from St. Louis. It started there and it ended up like at the other end of Waialae.
Wow.
And I did it every single year because I had to, because the school was participating. So we'd like, I don't know, I guess we'd have matching outfits and whatever and like sing carols like walking up the street.
Cute.
I only have ever seen it while I was in it. So that was like 5 years of seeing it. And I only saw the section that I was in because I was walking in it. But yeah, that's another thing that goes on too. I know something that Tempsey and I were talking about is this thing called the Honolulu City Lights that's here in sort of the downtown Honolulu area. So Honolulu Hale essentially is a government building and is also located pretty close to some other historical monuments like Aloha Tower and Iolani Palace. So they kind of dress that area up during the holidays. Somehow they locally source a giant pine tree, I'm guessing from some forest somewhere. And I did see an article a few days ago. Yeah, we have forests here, by the way, not just palm trees.
Yep.
This is a pine tree, not a palm tree. Although it'd be funny if they did a palm tree over there. I think that would be
awesome.
Kind of appropriate.
But
But
they do
less
put lights
festive
on.
feeling.
What's that?
But less festive feeling.
Yeah.
Like, because it doesn't have that
It's
shape.
Hawaii festive. But they do put a lot of lights on palm
They
trees
do,
out here.
yeah. So this year I saw this article a few days ago that this tree came from Hawaii Kai somewhere. So I can't picture where in Hawaii Kai this tree came from.
Really?
But that's what the article said. It said it was sourced from Hawaii Kai. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't see a tree driving across the, highway or anything.
I drive by there every day.
Yeah.
I take
to
I
leave.
take that street to
That's
go
your
home.
route.
Yeah, and and they started putting the big ornaments up and stuff. Because I was waiting every day.
cool.
I'm like, they're not decorating it? What's going on? And so now I just drove by this week and they started putting it up.
It's a giant tree.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, huge. But it goes right outside in front of the building, right next to the road. They cover it in decorations, like Tempsey said. And the whole property that, this tree and this building and, like, kind of, like, the historical Hawaii buildings near downtown, there's a lot of indoor and outdoor Christmas decorations. So some of them have a Hawaii twist to it. Like, I saw a snowman with a surfboard, which I don't know how that works, but okay, whatever. And Santa and Mrs. Claus look like they're hanging out at the pool or something like that with this water fountain that's outside. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a little, I don't know what holds it up, but there's like this tray of food or something, and it has like poi or like lau lau kind of decor on there too. So I was like, incorporating Hawaiian food into this, Christmas setting. And there are also other organizations. I think some of them might be like nonprofits or local companies that come and like set up decorations that are kind of like related to what they do. Inside Honolulu Hale, there's this large space with like high ceilings, and there's a ton of decorated Christmas trees in there. I'm not sure exactly who does it. I think it changes year over year, but there's a little like tag or card, like a placard that says who made this tree. Mm-hmm. And I know some of them are made by like government departments and stuff like that. And they have different themes that they'll go through. Like, I feel like I swear I've seen maybe some natural resources, like environmental groups that had one, and maybe even like the fire department or something like that. But
they
I think
all
that's
decorate
really cool.
their own tree.
They all decorate their own tree. There's another hallway in there that has in the past had wreaths hung on the walls. And I think they were submitted by school students. And they're kind of like intricate. I think it was kind of like just make a wreath with whatever materials you want in whatever colors. So it kind of,
I don't
people use their
that.
creativity.
That's cool.
I don't know if they change it up. I think the one year that I went there, it happened to be that. But I remember going down that hallway another year and it was different. Like, I was like, oh, where's that? I was hoping for, to see some art people was doing, and that's not what I found. But overall, I think it definitely has changed and grown since I was a kid. They have a little train thing that runs around and some rides, like small rides
Yeah.
and stuff over there too. I don't think they used to have that before, but I don't think they existed before either. Like I don't think anyone made those things before.
Right. The second time I went to that was my son's first Christmas when we were going all out, right?
Yeah.
So it was like kind of like a windy road. You know that windy road in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called. but-
Lombard Street.
Lombard. Okay, thank you. It's kind of like you follow a windy path while you're looking at the trees as you go, and then at the
Yeah.
end is Santa.
Yep.
And then you can take a picture with Santa.
Right.
Doesn't cost any money or anything. You just get to take a picture. So that's kind of cool. And then I also remember the Leonard's Bakery truck from Malasadas.
yeah.
They always have
That's
the
a good
Malasadas
idea.
out there.
It's a good idea. I haven't bought one while I was there. There's a
Me
Leonard's.
neither.
There's a Leonard's truck close to me.
Oh,
I don't
that's
go there
right.
either, but
That's right. But I feel like they're better in store anyways, like in the actual
from
bakery.
on Kapahulu. Yeah, I should get that and give that to people for Christmas.
Oh,
Take that to
yeah.
work. Hey, everybody, Leonard's. In case you don't know, Leonard's is like I think it's a Portuguese donut. I think that's what it is. But basically, it's almost like a fluffier donut without a hole in it.
If you've ever had a beignet, it's a little bit similar, but there's less air in the middle. It's a little bit more doughy and it's not crunchy. And a lot of times they roll it in sugar.
Or cinnamon,
Yep.
or they put filling in it.
Yep.
I think coconut, lilikoi, and chocolate or something.
Super good.
That's like the unoriginal. The original has like nothing inside.
Yeah.
The original is the best one.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And I like a lot of flavors. So if you ever come to Hawaii, make sure you visit. It's definitely a tourist spot.
Yeah,
People
it
stop
is.
there
There's
all the
always a
time.
line. All right, Christmas music.
Woo.
When is... That's funny. When is Christmas music appropriate? Sounds like right now.
Absolutely. No, we're not at Thanksgiving yet while we're recording this. It's Thanksgiving is the appropriate time. I like it early, but I'm not ridiculous. I'm not an irrational person. I get it. We shouldn't be listening to Christmas music all year round because we'll get sick of it. But I think Thanksgiving is a great time to start, and it just puts you in the mood. That's what I decorate to, and that's when I start decorating as well.
Yeah. I don't really have a time that I start listening to Christmas music. And honestly, so I know a lot of people are bothered by Christmas music starting so early or Christmas
Yeah.
stuff starting so early in stores and whatever. But honestly, if they're playing Christmas music in stores early, I don't think I would notice.
Me neither.
Because I just kind of like walk around and I'm not really paying attention to the music. Occasionally, I do hear certain songs
Yeah.
if it's like particularly loud or there's some kind of like unique noise
Yeah.
in there. And I'm like, that's when my ears perk up and I
Yeah.
listen, right? But otherwise, I'm like, whatever, play whatever
Otherwise,
you want,
you're
store.
focusing on getting groceries.
Right. Yeah. Or like looking at whatever I was trying to search for.
Yeah.
But on my own, when I'm listening to Christmas music, I don't know. I feel like it just happens to be whenever I remember to. I'm really bad at doing festive things on time, whatever that means. So
Means
it's
Thanksgiving.
possible. Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess I put that on. I'll probably need to add it to my calendar. It's kind of what I was saying, what I meant anyway. So it's possible that I won't turn on Christmas music on my own until maybe the week of when I'm like, oh, it's Christmas this week. I should probably start listening to Christmas music.
That's the very last.
But
very last.
it varies for me because I'm not waiting for that day to hit when I'm going to start listening. But I mean, if somebody else turns it on, I don't have a problem with it or anything like that. I feel like I'm doing it when other people are talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should start listening. Or maybe,
I wouldn't say I'm waiting for it either. I just feel like Thanksgiving's a trigger of like that
more holiday stuff.
the nostalgia
Yeah.
trigger of wow, the holidays are here. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So that's why I think it's appropriate. But when you're talking about stores dressing up for Christmas and they do it immediately after they bring down their Halloween stuff.
Or before or during.
Do they?
I saw wrapping paper at Costco before Halloween happened.
Oh yeah,
And it was
Costco.
it was a small area.
Still.
But I was just like, oh wait.
Unacceptable.
Okay. But I will say though, I'm all about buying wrapping paper. I don't know what my problem is. I have way more wrapping paper than a person should need, but I just keep buying it.
Don't get me started.
Nobody stops me either. So,
Who's gonna stop you?
I mean, Chris could stop me. I don't know. I'm just hanging out in the closet. All this wrap. It's not intended for me to just have because it looks nice. I actually want to wrap presents with it, but it's just that I happen to see nice wrapping paper.
Yeah.
And this is usually like the day after Christmas or something. You know, it's on sale, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll just get the wrapping paper.
You're not the only one.
Okay.
I know a couple
Good.
friends too, including myself.
Thought I was alone.
I actually intentfully prevented myself from buying wrapping paper this year because I want to get through. I'm also like getting through wrapping paper. You know that feeling of like,
Yeah. I finished the pen.
exactly. I was just going to say that. Like getting through a whole roll of wrapping paper, especially when it's those like jumbo.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah. that is definitely a win in my book.
Yep.
So I'm trying not to, because I have like 6 rolls of wrapping paper that are, I think one of them could be Christmas, but could be used for, I use it for birthdays too. So I like those ones that kind of you can use for both. But I have, I think, 6 or 7 rolls, and I'm like, don't buy any more. I want to, because they're really cute.
Yeah.
But no, I cannot.
You're good. I think I have double what you have.
Oh my gosh.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I only have
I'm
700.
ridiculous.
I only have 700 square feet in my house, and I'm using 699 of them. So I got to be very cautious of that last square foot that I have left in my house. So I
don't
can't
have that much more space.
You do. You have a lot more space than me. All right, well, that's it for us. Let us know about your holiday traditions and practices, strategies. We love strategy. We are strategy people. We want to hear what is going on with you. And if you have any tips or tricks that you can share with us, we would love to hear it.
What's your best Black Friday deal? Tell me that.
Ooh,
I want to know.
Black Friday
Yeah.
strategy.
Or coolest thing you bought on sale for yourself even. That's
Love
fun,
it.
too. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to this episode of The Outright Effect. You can find us at www.theoutrighteffect.com, on social media at The Outright Effect, Instagram and Facebook, or email us at theoutrighteffect@gmail.com. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.